I've been aware of GLP-1 medications for possibly up to about nearly 20 years. But I never thought I'd be taking GLP-1 medications. But after struggling with metabolic issues in the past few years, I've had to face the truth. For years, I did everything right. Balanced meals, I exercised, I managed stress. But I noticed in the past decade that my body wasn't responding the way it used to. It seemed like I was gaining weight and it was felt like I was trying to fight against my biology. So when in the past few years, we started to hear about the effect on these medications on weight loss. And when it became apparent, because we could see all these celebrities taking these medications and losing weight dramatically, I decided to dig into the research. And what I found made me completely rethink what I thought I knew about metabolism in midlife. Hello and welcome. My name is Aminata Kanu. I have a PhD in biochemistry and I am a menopause researcher and midlife coach. If you're in your 40s or 50s and you're wondering whether GLP-1 medications might be the right choice for you, let's talk about it. And today I will talk about why I had to start taking Mounjaro, which is or tirzepatide, which is what I'm taking. What I learned before I did and what I wish someone had told me before I started. So let's rewind a bit. Before I even considered GLP-1, I was dealing with what so many women over 40 experience. I'm 51, by the way. And for the past decade, I have struggled with my weight, and the weight that I could manage with my diet and exercise, suddenly I couldn't do anything about. Then I found out that I was developing a bit of insulin resistance. I would have regular blood sugar spikes. I'm not diabetic. I've never been diabetic. In fact, there's no diabetes in my family. There's no one in my family that's ever been diabetic. But I do keep an eye on my blood sugar and my blood pressure. So I have a blood pressure machine and I check my blood pressure regularly. And I check my blood sugar regularly also. I think that's important when you're my age. And I just kept getting fasting blood sugars that were high and high and high all the time. So I could feel that my metabolism was shifting and not in a good way. And then it didn't matter how much I slept, I would wake up exhausted. And everybody says, oh, it's just aging. Oh, it's menopause, it's perimenopause. But I started to look deeper into what really was happening inside my body. And that's when I realized it's not just about my weight. And here's the part nobody tells you. Metabolism after 40 isn't just about your slowing down. There's actually a change that's happening in your body that makes it way harder to burn fat and easier to store it. And there is this thing of, oh, just eat less, move more. No, it doesn't work if you're insulin resistant. Oh, you just need more willpower. Willpower can't override your hormonal shifts. And why would you want to take GLP-1s? They're for diabetes. Actually, looking at what the research is showing now, it looks like GLP-1s are not just about the blood sugar, but they're actually restoring our metabolic states. So for me, I just thought I look at the medications, not just for weight loss, but actually to see if I can improve my metabolism, if I can improve my metabolic state. Let me put it that way. So what finally pushed me to start on GLP-1 is simple. I had a blood test. My HbA1c, which is a measure of the blood sugar level in the last 3 months, was high. My liver enzymes were high, my kidney not so good. So I just knew I had to do something, and something had to change. So for me, I needed these GLP-1s. I needed something to help get my metabolism, my metabolic status, my metabolic health back on track before it becomes a bigger issue. So let me talk about some of the things that I wish I had known before taking my first dose. And I know people talk about this a lot, that people on GLP-1s lose a lot of muscle, but it's not just about the GLP-1s. If you lose a lot of weight, you will lose muscle with it. So if you're not strength training and eating enough protein, you could lose a lot of muscle. And if you lose a lot of muscle, you struggle to then improve your metabolic health. The second thing I wish somebody had told me is the effect these drugs have on hydration, on how much water you drink. They don't just stop the eating. They don't just reduce your appetite for food. They actually also seem to reduce your appetite for hydration, for drinking. And so once I realized this, a few weeks into the medication, I had to change to actually set an alarm to make sure I was drinking enough. The third thing that you want to know before you start is that your appetite will change. Obviously, you will be eating less, but you have to prioritize nutrition. And I see a lot of people who are talking about, oh, can I have a treat and so on. If you're using the little bit of appetite you have to just eat sweet treats instead of having your nutrition, because you're skipping, in my case, I'm skipping a whole meal. I skip lunch. I eat breakfast and I eat dinner, but I'm so full after breakfast that I can't eat lunch. And if you're skipping meals and your meals are just made up of rubbish rather than nutritious foods, you will struggle. You will become weaker. You will become fatigued. So I know so many women over 40 who are considering GLP-1 medications right now. And it's really easy to get caught up in that hype. And I know a lot of people as well, it's all about, I've lost X amount of weight so quickly. I lost the weight so quickly. You have to realize that when you're storing glycogen, which is the way we store sugar in our bodies, in our liver, we store it as glycogen. And for every gram of glycogen you store, you will store 3 grams of water. So if you think it's about the, fast weight loss, you will find out that your weight loss is not so much fat, but it's you losing water. And also, if you're losing weight fast by not doing the right things, you will also be losing muscle. And that is not good for your long-term health. So if, like me, if you are over 40 and you're struggling with your metabolism, with weight gain, consider GLP-1s. They might be what you need.